Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Maria, for inviting us. And thank you, Dimitris, for the great presentation. I think you really explained perfectly what we do in terms of assisting people and also in terms of geospatial technology. So I am Andrea Amparore. I've done my studies in Italy in Turin. Then I continued my specialization in Institut Polytechnique de Toulouse in France in geomatics. And then I've been working in the United States and for the European Commission before joining WFP in 2012. And since then, I'm working in the GIS unit of the Emergency division. And that's where I was working with Dimitris for a few years before we moved to Damascus. And yeah, you have seen already a few examples of geospatial technologies in the field. What I'm going to present here is a couple of projects of geospatial projects developed in HQ, in the headquarters, for supporting the activities in different countries. So I will try to stay in the 20 minutes that have been allocated to my presentation. And if I'm going too fast, feel free to interrupt me and tell me to go slower, or the opposite case, if I'm running out of time, let me know. The first presentation will be about ADAM, which is the Automated Disaster Analysis and Mapping. The main goal of the platform has been to take advantage of the fact that nowadays the information is collected, a lot of information is collected and disseminated in real time or in near real time. We wanted to speed up the production of reports and dashboard, matching the speed of the incoming data. We wanted actually to monitor in real time the disaster types that WFP has to face most often, which are earthquakes and tropical storms. This has been possible by exploiting databases of natural hazards that are being made available by the greatest institutions working in that domains. For earthquakes, we are working together with the United States Geological Survey. And for the tropical storm part, we started a collaboration with the GDAX group, which is a group working mainly in Ispra, not far away from Milano, actually, in the Joint Research Center of the European Commission. The project is open data oriented. That means that we use and exploit data that is freely available online. We just gather and we organize it. And it's open source oriented as well. We try to include as much as possible open source technologies. And of course, the system is 24/7 operational because we have to monitor disasters continuously. How it works? We have defined, let's say, triggering thresholds for every type of disasters. For example, magnitude 6 for an earthquake occurring in Nepal. And when the system detects an event with an intensity higher than this particular threshold, it enables all a series of data gathering, data collection, data transformation, analysis, mapping, and also automatic dissemination of the product to the right person. The overall goal is to increase the quantity and the quality of the information collected in one single product. It's the dashboard that you can see here on the screen. And at the same time, we want to reduce, we actually reduced the time necessary for creating such a product. Currently, before the time there is a notification of an earthquake from United States Geological Surveys, to the moment where our subscribers receive that dashboard in their mailbox, it's a matter of 20 to 30 seconds. So we really reduced the time of a possible response. This is an example of a dashboard of the infamous earthquake occurred in Nepal 5 years ago already, when we started developing that platform. It was working only in-house. It was an internal project at the time. We had few years of testing. And as you can see, there is the allocator map because we want, to understand where we are focusing our attention. Then there is a main map where you can see the epicenter of the event, 3 buffers around it, and WFP, let's say, features and facilities in the affected areas. In that case, you can see 3 warehouses and a country office together with the infrastructure of the area. Then we have different information boxes for every information type. We have the information on the event, the number of people that we think that we have, that we think that are living around the epicenter in 3 different distances. Some basic socioeconomic indicators of the affected areas, weather forecast if in case an intervention is needed. Then our facilities in the affected area, so number of offices, type of offices, our reference regional bureau for that area. We have five regional bureaus around the world. Then our closest facility to the epicenter and the distance between the epicenter and the closest facility. And of course, an automatic date and time. We have been running the system for 1 year internally, and then we have soon realized that we are not, of course, we are not a geological institution, we are humanitarians. We want to estimate the impact of the event on the population, not just the physical measurements. So, as stated by USGS, an earthquake of a given intensity can produce a range of effects depending on distance from the earthquake, rock, soil, and many other conditions at site. So our counterparts in the USGS suggested us to use one of their products, is the outcome of a model called the shake map, which is a very early estimation, but quite reliable estimation on the possible impact and possible damages based on a series of local parameters. So what we do is that we have this estimation 2 hours later the current earthquake. So the same people who has received the first alert, 2 hours later, receive the second notification with the possible impact of the people, so that our colleagues can have an idea of what's happening in the field. This is an example of an earthquake in India. It was 6.8 when we received that, and we didn't know if it was something major or severe. So after 2 hours, we have received this other notification, automatic, and based on the colors, we soon understood that the potential shaking was moderate to strong, despite the magnitude, given to a series of other factors. And the potential damages were very light to light. So after 2 hours, we soon realized that it was not a major earthquake that necessitated our intervention. So who receives ADAM alerts? Within WFP, basically everybody, from the executive director to 10,000 subscribers in HQ and in the field. Outside WFP, we are providing this service to a number of partners, agencies, other UN agencies, governments, and universities. We have stopped allowing the general public to subscribe to the service because I mean, that's not our mandate, but we have developed an extension of ADAM that actually takes care of disseminating the outcomes to the social media, in particular Twitter. If you go on Twitter on WFP_ADAM page, you will see all the latest alerts that have been disseminated by the system, so that also the general public can be notified. One can turn on notification from that page, and every time there is a major event or a major update, you can receive pop-up notification from ADAM. Okay, after a couple of years monitoring earthquakes, we have been asked to develop a similar platform for tropical storms. Tropical storm, of course, these are 2 very different disaster types. From the point of view of timing, one is a rapid onset event. It happens, and then you have to notify people immediately, as soon as possible. The other one is an evolving situation. First of all, you see it arriving. You can know about the event up to 1 week before. Secondly, it doesn't last for 10, 20, 30 seconds or 1 minute, but it can last for several days, even a week sometimes. So it's a different time approach. There is also a different spatial approach. Earthquake is an it can be mapped as a point. It's an epicenter, while tropical storms are basically trajectories. So line can have a different orientation, different length. So it's difficult to develop strict rules in the algorithm to have a perfect map. It's not about having a fixed extent and moving it to the next epicenter. It needs to be, say, adapted time by time. For this reason, we have put in place a different process for the two disasters. While for the earthquakes, ADAM is 100% automated. For tropical storm, there is the very last step, which is supervised. ADAM does the 95%, and then the administrators, which are us actually in our GIS unit, are the supervisor that can clear or not or modify the alert. This is an example of the tropical storm dashboard, which is similar to the one that we've seen before. It recalls the same style. In particular, you're watching the alert that has been disseminated yesterday morning for a tropical storm that is currently hitting the north part of the Philippines. And if you go to the Twitter page, you will see that alert. Oh, there is also a new one that has been released this morning. This is another example of a similar cyclone. This one was in the Caribbean. And the third product done by ADAM, in addition to the tropical storm wind speed buffer, is this map with the precipitation, total precipitation in the next 1 to 10 days. We can decide according to the timing when the cyclone is hitting, and a basic analysis on the total rainfall of the main cities of the area. Also, this is fully automated and is done in collaboration with the European Center for Medium Range Weather Forecast, which is let's say one of the reference for weather forecast in Europe. The last product done by ADAM is this table which shows the number of people that are at risk, and the risk zones are defined by the wind speed, 60, 90, and 120 kilometers per hour. And the data is reported by admin 2, that can be district or municipality, admin 1, that is region, and then admin 0, which is country, with totals and subtotals, in order to have, again, a very basic idea of the number of people living in the areas of the impact of the cyclone. Oh, this is a very, I will talk about this very fast. So ADAM receives notifications from GDAX. We get the data from them. And for tropical storm, instead of sending the outcomes of the analysis directly to subscribers, ADAM sends by emails to a series of supervisors, we are about 10, the outputs and the project files for those outputs. Then the supervisors have 3 options. Either we ignore the email we receive from ADAM, and at that case, no action are taken. Either we can reply to the email saying approved, and then ADAM, once has received the email, will send the notification to thousands of people. The third option is to use the project that ADAM has sent us, modify slightly the outcomes, maybe zooming out a little bit the map, modify some labels, modify the extent in order to include also an island that will be involved by the cyclone in the next days. So all those manual steps that are necessary. Then the supervisor, in that case, sends back ADAM the modified files, and ADAM in turn will disseminate the new files to all the mailing lists and Twitter and many other different dissemination channels. Why is ADAM an asset for WFP? First of all, we have reduced the time between the event and the response. We are talking about hours. When there is a major earthquake, media start talking about it 3 to 4 hours later, unless it is an earthquake occurring in the United States or in Europe. If it's in a developing country, we start hearing about it a few hours later. With Adam, the time is a matter of seconds. Then one of the important aspects has been to condensate in one single easy readable product a lot of information, because it's important to provide decision maker with something that they can read in a short time without being lost in pages and pages of maybe not necessary information. Then it's a concrete example of WFP innovates and leverage technology to improve emergency response. And finally, we provide the service not only to our colleagues in the field, but all the humanitarian partners for free. And that's all concerning Adam. If you're interested, you can Google online. There are articles talking about it. You can subscribe to Twitter page. I'm running out of time. No, I still have like probably 10 minutes. Okay, so we can go to the second project. This is a kind of an insight presentation because the project hasn't been launched yet. It will be launched in January. And again, it's another project that aims to support different country offices, different humanitarian operators, not only a specific project in the field. That's the approach of our projects in HQ. Is the Humanitarian Topographic Atlas, HTA. So as Dimitri said before, nothing during an emergency will ever replace a printed and well defined and high resolution map. First of all, because we have technological limitations like internet connectivity and so on. And secondly, because during meetings, during field activities, you really need a paper support where you can draw projects, where you can discuss with people, you can hang on a wall, you can take with you in the field without having all the information in a tablet or in a smartphone that maybe doesn't work where you are, or maybe it's damaged by the humidity during a flood or so on. So during the first phase of the emergency, we are always asked to create those printed maps. First of all, we are asked to search for them, but not always they are available in developing countries. Either they don't exist, or they are very old, and we are talking about places that are changing with an incredible speed in terms of demography. So we have new cities, villages become huge cities, and in terms of infrastructure as well. You have roads, mostly in Africa. In the last 10 years, we have seen a dramatic increase of infrastructure that were not there before. So we really need to have updated maps. Most of the times are not there, so we have to create them. And this requires several days. After the emergency, after a cyclone or a tropical storm or a conflict starts, we have to spend a few days in making high-resolution printable topographic maps. So after the experience we had with Adam about automating processes and mapping, we thought about doing the same for topographic maps. But that's really challenging. Yeah, as I said, there is little availability in developing countries, and this is an example of topographic maps I found when I was in Mozambique last year. So they really need something more reliable to work. I was saying that it is really challenging to create, to make all those maps in advance, because we are talking about potentially every place in the world. How can we make topographic maps of every place in the world? Well, that's what we're trying to do. Actually, the primary goal of HTA is to create high quality, detailed and up-to-date topographic maps covering the areas with WFP field operations. That means, in practice, we have to create thousands and thousands of topographic maps before any emergency starts. We want to cover all the areas involved in humanitarian operations. Potentially, WFP is active in more than 90 countries, and we are ready to intervene in additional 50. So we're talking about 140 countries to map. We don't want just to create those thousands and thousands of maps and then forget about them waiting for the emergency. We want to keep them up to date on a daily or a weekly or a monthly basis according to the need. finally, again, we want to make the outputs available for the whole humanitarian community in order to help any organization, government, NGO in the world. It's a huge challenge, but we're almost there. So this has been possible by collecting, to create automatic pipeline, data pipeline for getting data from different sources in a streamlined and smooth way. The first and most important data source, as said Dimitri before, is OpenStreetMap. We couldn't do our job without OpenStreetMap. And from OSM, we get information on settlements, roads, hydrology, point of interest, etc. Then, of course, we have our internal databases where we have information about our facilities, refugee camps, food distribution points, and all humanitarian related information. We have other sources of information, such as the shuttle radar topographical mission for the contour lines and the relief shading, and we have a series of minor ones as well. As a result, we managed to create several thousands of free topographic maps, always up to date and freely available for different paper size. So one can print the map in an A3 size, which is basically A3 size is the double of the normal A4 that we use for printing. And then for A1 size as well, which is more than 1.5 meters wide, that is used for big meetings and for covering, of course, big areas of operations. We involved several technologies. The open source tool INP OSM3 is needed for importing data from OSM on an hourly basis. That means that if any of you will add a point, a city, a village, a building in OSM, 1 hour later, this data can appear in our printed maps. Then we use the Esri stack for defining the map symbology and styles. And then there is the engine of everything. It's a series of Python scripts and software that take care about the automation of the mapping, so creating thousands of maps, and taking care, of course, also about the regular updates. We store the outputs in AWS servers, and we have a custom ArcGIS Online application, which is cloud-based, for allowing the user to go and search for map. Current to the website, I will give you the link later to explore it. We have covered 170 countries, a number of regions, districts, and also we have a series of grid areas. So for some areas, we divide the country in equally sized grid, and for every grid we make a map that is necessary for some of the field activities we have. The next step will be to complete the global coverage, hopefully also including Europe, North America, Russia and Australia that we have, and China, India, that we, for the moment, we put on a side because we wanted to focus on areas where we operate, of course. And then hopefully we would like also to allow the user to customize a little bit the PDF maps before printing them. If I have 3 more minutes, I will make a very short demonstration. So please, this is the website. It hasn't been launched yet, so it's not anymore. It's not yet official, but you can go there and visit it. It's hta.gis.wfp.org. HTA like Humanitarian Topographic Atlas. GIS World Program.org. And this is the platform where you have all the areas that have been covered by the project so far. So there you have all Africa, part of Latin America, except all Latin America except Brazil, Southeast Asia, and some part of Middle East. You can switch from different levels because one of the potentialities of this project is that we are creating maps for different levels. So country maps, then regional maps, and eventually also district maps. So we're talking about very, very small areas, and for each of these areas, you can get a map in different format. We can make a very fast test let's try downloading a map from Syria, given that Dimitri is there. It's enough to select Syria. We are redirected here. We can either download the map of the country by clicking on the country, and we can select the size of the map. And you can see that it has been downloaded in 9 of November. It has been created, sorry, or updated 9th of November. So this has been created 2 days ago by the system. Or we can go down we can go deeper, one level deeper. Let's go and search for the district, for the region map. In that case, the region of Dara. Again, here we can click on the feature and we can download the map. This has been done in October. We can select one of the 2 formats. A3 is enough. And automatically you have your map saved in your download folder. We can go and check it. And this is the map of the region in Syria with the desired level of details. This is the A3. If we wanted, we could also have downloaded the A1, which is an additional level of information. Or we can go even deeper and go into the districts, which are like the municipality of this area. There is a district of the Dara city, which is even smaller. And again, we can get the map from there. This is possible at every admin level and for all the basically all the countries in Africa, Latin America, and some of in Asia. You will find some bugs because we haven't finished the development yet, but I just wanted to show it with you because I think it's an interesting platform. Anyone can use it, anyone can get the map from. One last thing, we also have the light mode because actually it's a kind of heavy application. We want to support our people, our colleagues in the field. Colleagues in the field can go directly to the light mode, which is basically the same thing, but without the base map that is pretty heavy to download when you don't have a good connection. And from there, you can select your area. For example, near Syria, you have Lebanon. And, oh, sorry, I think I need to refresh the screen. It's coming, it's coming. Okay. Lebanon, any of this is fine. Then you can go even to the district, but let's stay in the region level. You can select the paper size. And then you have like a warning saying you are the map of Mount Lebanon region in Lebanon, A3 paper size. You click on download and you get your map and you are ready to go. And you are ready to go to the field. Oh, I clicked on the wrong one. This is the Lebanon one. And you're ready to go to the field with the map you need. The red dots you see are the refugee camps in Lebanon. You see how many they are. And yes, on the very last note, given that you were talking about the importance of OpenStreetMap, I will share with you the experience I had last year when I was deployed in Mozambique after the cyclone Idai. And I was deployed in a place called Buzi that was actually really affected by the huge floods created by the cyclone. And this is what Google Maps shows for this area. It's basically a couple of roads around this end of the river. If you go closer, it doesn't improve much. You only have those roads there and a major highway here. But then if you actually look on the satellite image, there is a huge city around. Of course, all the commercial services like Google Maps, Bing Maps, Apple Maps, they don't put a lot of efforts in digitalizing information from developing countries. But now let's go and see the same area on OpenStreetMap. and look at it. Everything is mapped, even every single barrack. These are just barracks on very poor houses. Each one of them is digitalized, and that can also give you an idea of the population that lives there, not only about the infrastructure. And of course, it was not like this at the time of the disaster. I'm sure you know, when there is a disaster, all the OpenStreetMap community focus the efforts in the affected area in order to improve the data of the area. It was not like this at the time of the disaster, but it took 2-3 days, not more, before having this level of detail. And of course, that's the data that allow us to work and operate in those situations. So yeah, guys, when you contribute to OpenStreetMap, you have to know that the data you create is really useful for us, and in turn is useful for the people we serve.